From translation, TLB, the Living Bible. This 281 day of the year. Today we are reading passages Matthew 15 to 17. Matthew chapter 15, verses 1 to 53. Then some Pharisees and teachers of religious law arrived from Jerusalem to see Jesus. They asked him, "Why do your disciples break our age-old tradition? For they say they don't need to ceremonially wash their hands before eating, as our ancestors did." Jesus replied, "And why do you, by your traditions, violate the direct commandments of God? For instance, God says, 'Honor your father and mother,' and anyone who speaks evil of father or mother must be put to death. But you say it's all right for a person to tell his parents, 'Sorry, I can't help you. For I have vowed to give to God what I would have given to you,' and so you let them disregard their parents. Thus you say it's all right to do whatever you want to do, as long as you don't break your vow, you hypocrites. Isaiah was prophesying about you when he said, 'These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far away. Their worship is a farce, for they replace God's commands with their own man-made rules. For as Jonah was in the belly of the great fish for 3 days and nights, so will the Son of Man be in the heart of the earth for 3 days and nights.' On the judgment day, the people of Nineveh will stand up against this generation and condemn it, because they repented at the preaching of Jonah, and now someone far greater than Jonah is here, but you won't repent. On the judgment day, the Queen of Sheba will stand up against this generation and condemn it, because she traveled from a distant land to listen to the wisdom of Solomon. And now someone far greater than Solomon is here, but you ignore him. When they arrived on the other side, in the land of the Gadarenes, 2 men possessed by demons met them as they came out of the boat. They were so fierce that no one could go through that area. The herdsmen fled to the nearby town and reported what had happened, the loss of the pigs, and the healing of the 2 men. Then the whole town came out to meet Jesus. But when they saw the 2 men who had been possessed by demons, now perfectly sane and sitting at Jesus' feet, they were terrified, and the people of the town begged Jesus to go away and leave them alone. Matthew chapter 16, verses 1 to 28. One day the Pharisees and Sadducees came to test Jesus, asking him to show them a miraculous sign from heaven to prove his authority. Only a wicked, faithless generation would demand a miraculous sign, and the only sign I will give you is the sign of Jonah. In the same way that Jonah spent 3 days and nights in the belly of a huge fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and nights in the heart of the earth. When the sun is setting, you say, 'We'll have fair weather, for the sky is red.' And in the morning, 'It will be a storm today, for the sky is red and threatening.' You are good at reading the weather signs in the sky, but you can't read the obvious signs of the times. Only a wicked, faithless generation would demand a miraculous sign, and the only sign I will give you is the sign of Jonah." Then Jesus left them and went away. When the disciples crossed the lake, they forgot to bring any bread. "Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000, and how many large baskets you filled. And why can't you understand? I wasn't talking about bread. I was telling you to beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees, their false teaching. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you forbid on earth will be forbidden in heaven, and whatever you permit on earth will be permitted in heaven. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And how do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul? For I, the Son of Man, will come in the glory of my Father with his angels, and will judge all people according to their deeds. I tell you the truth, some standing here right now will not die before they see me, my kingdom come in great power." Matthew chapter 17, verses 1 to 16. 6 days later Jesus took Peter, James, and John, and led them up a high mountain to be alone. As they watched, Jesus was transformed. His face shone brightly like the sun, and his clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could ever bleach them. Suddenly, Moses and Elijah appeared and were talking with Jesus. When the disciples heard the voice, they fell face down on the ground, terrified. And when they looked up, Moses and Elijah were gone, and they saw only Jesus. Then the disciples realized he was talking to them about John the Baptist. When they came back to the other disciples, they saw a large crowd surrounding them and several teachers of religious law arguing with them. As soon as the crowd saw Jesus, they were overwhelmed with awe, and they ran to greet him. "So I brought him to your disciples, but they couldn't cast out the demon,"